What's up YouTube, Sunny here, and yes, I know what you're thinking, it's been a while since I posted anything on here, but you know, sometimes life just gets in the way, I really just don't have the time for it type deal. But while I can't promise a consistent uploading schedule on here, but I can promise that I'm going to do my best and, you know, put out as much as I can on here per se, and we'll just definitely see how it goes. However, if you do want to see more consistent content from myself, the best place to go to is my Twitch channel, of course, which is twitch.tv/TheRealSunnyGames. I'll leave a link down in the description below for that. But anyway, I figured today we would go over probably what is my most favorite deck out of the Pogo format, which is this Magikarp Ditto deck. Now, the main point of this deck, obviously, is using Magikarp's attack, Raging Fin, for 10 damage. However, it does another 30 damage for each Magikarp and Gyarados in your discard pile, which you're thinking to yourself, well, if you got like one Carp and 7 of the other Pokemon in the discard pile, how are you doing the maximum amount of damage? How are you constantly getting Magikarp back? Well, here's the thing, you actually aren't. You will actually be attacking through this card right here, Ditto, that has the sudden transformation ability, which reads that this Pokemon can use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile except for any Pokemon with a rule box on it. And of course you do need the energy to attack with it. So the main point of this is to dump your 4 Carps, your 4 Gyarados into the discard, and then attack through the Ditto. So with 4 of these in the discard pile and 4 of these in the discard pile, that gets you to 250 damage in total. That's, you know, 240 then plus the 10 from the, you know, base attack there. And of course, if you're going against a V Pokemon, we do have Choice Belt in there, which actually brings damage up to 280, which can actually one-shot stuff like Arceus V-Star that doesn't have a big charm on it. So stuff like that. So being a single prize deck, you basically have somewhat of an advantage against the multi-prizer decks, and definitely the VMAX decks, since, you know, they're only taking 1 prize apiece and they gotta work that much harder to win the game. We of course need a way to put these cards in the discard pile, the Magikarp and the Gyarados. I've seen several ways of this being done, but the way that I'm doing it, and the way that's worked the best for me, is with Cinccino, that has the Make Do ability that lets you, once per turn, discard a card from your hand and draw 2 more cards. Preferably Magikarp and Gyarados are the cards you're discarding here to get that attack going. We of course have Manaphy in here for bench protection, since, you know, cards such as Greninja, Radiant Greninja are popular in the format. You do want to protect your bench, since, you know, these are very fragile Pokemon, and a 1 prize game can turn into a 2 prize game just like that if your bench isn't well protected. Of course, we have other unique Pokemon in here, such as the Tornadus with that sudden Cyclone ability that lets you put this card on your bench and then make your opponent switch their active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. This is good for maybe taking cheap knockouts on something that's not ready, or even disrupting, say, Flying Pikachu VMAX, which, you know, in turns still a hard matchup, but I've actually managed to use this card to put in so much work to, you know, take those knockouts there. Being that we are a single prize deck, and not relying on rule boxes in any way, shape, or form, I decided the best stadium for this deck is Path to the Peak, which prevents Pokemon with a rule box on it to have their abilities. Obviously, you know, Vs and VMAXs, Radiants, you know, the mix like that. And of course, it's good to have a counter stadium in there because this deck does suffer to Temple of Sinnoh, which turns all of our energies into just single energies, which we don't need that at all. Being that we're also a single prize deck also, we're expected to get knocked out. We're gonna get knocked out several times over and over again, most likely. So we have Cynthia's ambition to get ourselves a big hand out of nowhere, and then, you know, going off that, we can go into our Cinccinos and just, you know, draw lots of cards and maximize the draw from there. We have Peonia in the deck for that just in case scenario if any of our pieces are in the prizes, because we do want to maximize our damage. And, you know, making sure that stuff isn't prized is very important. And then everything else is pretty basic. We got 2 copies of Boss's Orders in there as well. Our search cards being Level Ball, Evo Incense, Quick Ball. Recovery cards like Pal Pad and Rescue Carrier are ace in this deck, Pal Pad especially, in certain scenarios. This is pretty much, low-key, one of the better cards in the format right now, I'd say. Making its wave in several decks. Primarily a lot of Arceus decks, but, you know. And one of the star supporters in this deck is actually this one right here, Roseanne's Backup, which has 4 different effects. You get to choose 1 or more of these, where you get to shuffle a Pokemon to your deck, a tool card, a stadium, and an energy card, which is amazing because we can utilize all 4 of these effects, in fact, to keep everything going for us. Now, this is a deck, I've played this list for a hot minute now. I like this list. Not too many changes I would make to it currently. While it's not the most perfect deck for Standard right now, it can actually be a surprise deck, and I think you should definitely give it a try. I'll leave my list down in the description below, and if you have any recommendations or suggestions of what you would change about this deck, let me know down below. But for now, we'll take it over to the ladder and try a few games with it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the coin flip, go heads, and unfortunately we did lose the coin flip. Now, technically we can still attack going second, but however, we do want to get our full setup going, and obviously going first is a lot more ideal, but we'll still take second though. Not a big deal. I've seen worse. Let's see what they're playing. Okay, we just got a Sobble that doesn't give us too many information quite yet, and we're going to be going against Palkia V-Star. I think this is a pretty okay matchup for us, all things considered. Alright, we did get the Tornadus in hand right away. That's not gonna do much for us momentarily. So I think the best line of play here is just knock out the Sobble right away, which will just go Ultra Ball 1-2. We have our Carp in the discard pile. Now, of course, as a reminder, in order to get any of these attacks going with the Ditto, you do need to actually have a Magikarp in the discard pile. That's the only way you can do it, obviously. Looking around, we've got... So we got an energy prize. We've got... Let's see what else we're looking at. Looks like we're going to have a Carp in the prizes as well. Deal. And I did see the Manaphy is in the deck, which is nice, just in case they do get their Radiant Greninja going. We do want to make sure we get out the Manaphy as soon as possible. Alright, now we did end up with a very interesting hand, I'd say. Alright, definitely want to discard that. That's a pretty strong discard. Now, I do have a Quick Ball. I would like to get out a Minccino. Minccino would be nice here. Given what their hand's looking like, I think our best bet is to just get the Minccino going, because we're knocking out their Sobble, and they're just going to have like a Lonely Palkia. A 6-card hand, potentially. I don't know what they could have. So this might be the best thing for us, is just to go in, knock out the Sobble, see where that takes us. Alright, to get a Minccino from the prizes. I mean, even if they take a knockout on our Ditto, that's not the end of the world. Because we do have Cynthia's Ambition in hand that draw our hand up even bigger. And I would like to use it to its full potential, obviously. Which might actually happen considering they just scooped the game. Okay. They didn't have anything. Alright, so we'll run that back, try another game, and see where it goes. Alright, we're calling the coin flip here. Let's see what it does for us. And alright, we did win the coin flip, so we are going first. Fire deck box. Could it mean a fire deck? I don't know. If that's the case, we can also attack with Magikarp. That'd be pretty funny. I've actually had that happen before where I've attacked with the Magikarp on... I forgot what it was. It was like something like that. There's a Snorlax. Doesn't give us any information yet. Could be Control, but we don't know yet. Alright, pretty awkward hand, though. I think we'll pitch the Ambition for Minccino. We got both Cinccinos. Looks like it's going to be a Gyarados in the prizes. We got a Stadium in the prizes. Again, we don't really know what we're playing against. All the energies are there at least. So not the worst prizes. And this is without even knowing what we're even playing against. We'll just have to wait and see. Snorlax doesn't tell us too much though. Most of the time you see Snorlax is in a control deck, but we'll see what happens though. Alright, Irida. Okay. Could be Palkia with Snorlax in it, which I never really would have thought of that. Not a bad decision, but we'll see what happens though. Alright, Sobble and Level Ball. Not much information there. Okay. They're probably just going to be setting up double Sobbles, if anything. That's set up. Water energy, so this is probably got to be a Palkia deck, if anything. It's got to be. Differently built, but okay, no, there's a fire energy. So, this could be... There's got to be a Radiant Charizard in this deck. Which, again, that's not like the worst thing we can run into. It doesn't give us any information, though. Alright, let's see what we got. His hand's kind of lacking a bit. I'm thinking if I had to pitch a card, it'd be the Choice Belt. I kind of don't want to ambition for a low draw. All right. Can actually draw a bit more here. So we're gonna quick ball away the backup for the Ditto. So with the Ditto. And then ambition for 5. Not like the 8 like we would have wanted, but you know, you gotta play with what you got sometimes. And then let's go. Technically we can attack, which is funny. We'll level ball for a Carp and then quick ball it away. We'll grab another Minccino here. Try to get as many Mincinos on the board as possible. Let's not attach that to Minccino. We'll put that there. And again, not a lot of damage, but we'll get a swing going at the very least. I don't mind the Manaphy staying in play. It gives us a nice little pivot with that Air Balloon. And we also have another Air Balloon in hand. We can also put that somewhere else. Alright, so I think with this Drizzile, this might give us a better idea as to what we're going against. I gotta assume they're playing Radiant Charizard in this deck, though. That's the only thing I do know. Alright, we're gonna get a Sonia going here. This could even be... I had a thought. This could even be Leon's art? Sonia? We'll see, though. Double water energy. That still doesn't tell us much. Could be Arceus, though. Could be Arceus Intel with a Radiant Zard. Because currently we don't have much information on anything. They didn't really get the best start going. I mean, yeah, they got the double Drizz going on, that's fine, but they don't have like an attacker going. Alright, we'll see. Are you Arceus? No, they're getting another Sobble. Not what we were thinking of. They could be attacking with that, actually. It's possible. Since I didn't see them getting a... What's his face? I didn't see them getting... Let's put this here. I didn't see them get an Arceus at all. So hey, maybe it's just Inteleon by itself. I've seen weirder. Alright. Go here. Let's get these Gyarados out of the deck. This Minccino just hit the bench, so we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to make do away the Gyarados. Oh, we actually... My mistake, chat. I'm so used to being in a Twitch chat right now. That's how much I know about YouTube. Alright, let's go... Let's quick ball away the Peonia for the other Carp. And again, I know... Oh, we actually have them all. Okay. We're definitely getting a knockout, though. That's no problem. And then I think we'll just... We can even bench the Ditto here. You want to bench Ditto? I think we want to bench Ditto. I don't think there's like much else we need to do for our bench. And then we'll just Raging Fin for the knockout. We'll see what they get, though. Because again, you know, if this is really just an Inteleon Charizard deck, then that's what it is, basically. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's a Bird Keeper. That, again, doesn't tell us anything at all as far as what they're trying to do here. Oh, there's an Ice Cube. Okay. I get it. Okay. Well, in that case, we might see a block face happening this turn. Double check. We do still have Tornadus. Tornadus is going to be very important in this matchup. We can push the Ice Cube to the bench, and then Boss's orders it up. Assuming that's what they're doing here. We can't leave that Ice Cube unchecked no matter what. But it looks like... Okay. They do have a pretty nice board, though. And they are going to gun out my Manaphy with their Inteleon. That's the only way they can really knock it out currently, aside from, you know, bossing it up. Which in the future they can. So we definitely have a lot on our plate right here as far as what we can go for, what we're dealing with, the works. Okay, getting a Sobble from the prizes. And they've got a pretty well assembled board. That's what we're looking at here. I didn't see anything along the lines of Raihan. We might have to... This matters, actually. Do we answer the Ice Cube right away? Is the question. I'm going to grab Gyarados first and make do. I want to scout a couple cards first just to see. Because they haven't played any Raihans or anything like that. 30, 60, 90, 120, so 160. We are knocking out the Inteleon, though. I think for the time being, I'm not going to completely sweat the Ice Cube and focus on what's here. Because we don't have to, like, rush into anything, I don't think. And assuming this board stays stable the way it is, I think we might be okay here. Tornadus is still an option. I know it's in the deck. I'm more than positive it's in the deck. Alright. We'll just retreat into Ditto and Raging Fin. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, actually... The Tornadus actually was not in the deck. I'm mistaken, actually. Who knew? Well, I mean, hey, at least I know now. We actually have it. Alright. They're gonna go out with the Mew first. Gonna Mysterious Tail. See what they get here. Got a Quick Ball. We'll see what that gets them. There's the Raihan. That's kind of what we had our eyes on from the get-go, was that Raihan could get them a double turbo energy, and then they can just block face. Which if they do, then... Alright, there it is. They're not knocking us... Oh, wait, they are knocking us out. Okay, which I don't mind. Because, again, we can Tornadus and then boss up the Ice Cube. This is a good thing that we saved this line of play here. I'm definitely happy that we saved this. Just for that. Since, you know, the Ice Cube wasn't doing anything right away, but the Inteleon that was attacking us earlier was. So, that was honestly the best move we could have made there. They're going to get Inteleon out there. And they're just racing to knock out that Manaphy. We do have Rescue Carrier in our hand. We can use that to grab back the Manaphy when it does get knocked out, which it's going to get knocked out. There's no doubt about it. Alright, there's a Slowpoke, though. That makes everything even more interesting. That's going to be a potential thing we're going to have to take care of as well. So my opponent's playing a very interesting deck, to say the very least. I like it. I respect it. Alright, so we're going to bring up the Ditto first and foremost. And then we're going to do that play I was talking about. This is why we're running this card in the deck, for situations like this, where we can just shove the Ice Cube to the bench. They bring up whatever. Sure. We boss's orders the Ice Cube back up. That resets it. And the fact that they actually brought the Slowpoke in the first place was interesting to me. Alright, we'll just get this last Carp out of the deck. There's not much left in here. A lot of what we want is in our hand anyway. Alright, and then we will just leave this hand as is and just Raging Fin. I don't want to push too far into the deck, or else we'll get closer to a deck out. At this point, I want to just play it hit by hit if we can. We'll see what they go here. So yeah, we knew they were going to take the Manaphy knockout. That was for certain. We can still get this back, though. That's no problem. Again, the copy of Rescue Carrier and the fact that we're playing Roseanne's backup and also in conjunction with the Pal Pad means that we're set on a lot of resources, though. I'm not sweating it. Alright, so they're going to Clara here. Like it's Drizzle and Inteleon. So they didn't get Ice Cube again. I think they're just going to work off what they've got for the time being. Alright, there's the Drizz. We'll see if they get any kind of attacker going right now. If they do. Alright. Yeah, the Gyarados actually isn't the prizes. If we can get Gyarados out, we'll definitely be fine. Let's see what they're getting, though. They do need an attacker, though. They can't fall too far behind, or else that's going to be a problem. Alright, there's the Radiant Zard, which is fine. They can't attack with it yet unless they bump the Stadium. I don't think they can. Let's see, this should be prize cards. They would need 2 energies on that. Okay, which that can definitely do it for sure. They'll probably attach for turn. Now I think here I want to just deal with the... I want to deal with the Zard first, and then we'll deal with the Slowpoke. That might be the best play to go. Alright, from there, why don't we do what we said we were going to do. We're going to Rescue Carrier. Get Manaphy and Ditto. There. Attach. We definitely have a knockout on the Zard. I want to actually focus on the Zard first. It's probably our best line of play. We can worry about the Slowpoke later. But then again, they might get something else going. They still have... They could still have Raihan that can actually use to power up the Inteleon and then go from there. We didn't exactly answer the stadium on time, sadly. We'll see what happens, though. This might be... Yeah, they're going to get the Zard and the Ice Cube back. Getting a bit sweaty at the moment. And they still have Magma Basin in play. That's a huge problem. Yeah, this... With a Tool Scrapper, that hurts a lot. I don't think there's like much we can do because of that. They actually didn't play the Tool Scrapper though, which is interesting. Alright, so I have an interesting line of play here. Let me just see real quick. Now, what I could do here, because it might be checkmate regardless, I think what we'll do here, let me check their discard. They haven't played very many stadiums is the thing. So they're either going to beat us with the Slowbro or they're going to beat us with the Zard. It's kind of like a 50-50 type deal in my opinion. So they might just have... They might just have it either way. If they have a stadium, they got it. If they got the Slowbro, they got it. That's just... I think what we'll do is... Honestly, I think we'll just... How much energy have they gone through? They haven't even gone through that much, which is shocking. Yeah, I think we might have to just knock out the Zard. See what that does. They're thin on cards, sadly. They can just Slowbro energy and then that's game. Dang, they just had... They had so much going for them. It's crazy. All in one crazy setup, too. Alright. There's a scoop up next. Okay. I think they can still evolve in that. I'm sure if they Drizzled yet. I don't know if they did. They're still doing stuff. Oh, they got a Rowlet, but the Rowlet's not going to help them currently. Okay, there it is. This should win them the game, assuming they've got all the pieces. Yeah, there it is. They're going to definitely take the knockout there. There's not much we can do about it, sadly. There it is. Twilight Inspiration for the win. That was insane. Oh my god. We couldn't have done much there, sadly. Especially when the Inteleon pings got a bit too far off for us. It just, it's all it came down to. Alright, we actually won the coin flip on this one. So yeah, we're definitely going first. That's for sure. See what the deck gives us. So we got a Carp start. Could even just put the Manaphy out there. But I think we will just go Carp here. See what happens. A mulligan though, so that can definitely help us out for sure. We'll see what they, or at least what we're playing against. Okay, so we're playing against Mew VMAX. Now, this matchup is actually not the worst for us. We can manage this, oddly enough. Alright, let's go ahead and quick ball away the Gyarados. That's an easy pitch. We're going to set up some Mincinos here. Get those going. I'm going to hold on to the energy this turn. Looks like we're prizing a Carp, though. That's the only thing prized. We do have our other Path of the Peak in the deck, which is nice. We've got both our Air Balloons. Looks like a Choice Belt's prized. Right, yeah, we have a decent enough starting off point, though. until I realized that we only have like Level Ball. We can only run off one Cinccino. I think what we'll do here, this is just in case they escape rope. We'll put the Manaphy down and pass. And we'll see what they get off of this for sure. Again, we didn't play the Path of the Peak. Didn't play the Path of the Peak. That was silly. I could have actually bought us some time if I remember to put that down. I was more focused on my Level Ball than I was that, unfortunately. Alright, we'll see what they get off of this. We're drawing one card, though. Hoping for a Tails in the Chromatic, though. But of course it's heads, which, knowing this deck, they get lucky all the time. I mean, there's always going to be skill involved in this deck in the first place, but there's still that huge luck aspect because of like all the coin flips that happen. Alright, and they still need to get a Alyssa Sparkle though, which they did. Oh man, can't catch a break. Alright, so they don't do much else. They actually just do that. Alright, so hopefully that opens up a little bit of a window for us. We'll have to see. Again, our hand is not the best for what we're given. I don't know yet. I think the safe card to discard here is the Choice Belt. Let's see what we get off of that. That just gave us more junk, unfortunately. We'll just path and pass. Path was a little late there, but is what it is. That might have been one of the few times I actually misplayed in this whole video. Alright, there's another Chromatic. Are they gonna get heads on this one? That's the question. They actually didn't. Depending on their hand, that's actually gonna matter. Okay, they actually don't have anything. Alright. Now that's what we want to see. They're actually stuck. Alright, let's go here. I think what we'll do... This literally goes against my line of play that I wanted to take against this matchup, but we're actually going to discard the bosses for another Ditto. We'll go here, Twin Ambition. And then from here, we just gotta hope Path sticks. That's kind of the line of play we're working with, unfortunately, is Path going to stick? Because the fact that they like failed that Chromatic, that's very telling. Okay, they're just gonna retreat with double turbo though. It was actually a decent top deck for them. The good news is they're still ability locked, assuming that the double turbo was their top deck, but as it turns out, they had a boss in hand. I'm gonna knock out my Cinccino, which, alright, is what it is there. We gotta hope that we're still going to have them locked down, though. Alright, let's Evo Incense for the other Gyarados. And then we do have a Carp in the discard pile already, which is nice. So this is going to be for another Ditto. We really have all these Dittos just out and ready to go. Not how I envisioned this happening, but it's fine. Alright, we'll Level Ball first, just so I can double check to see what's going on here. There's a Gyarados in the deck. We'll use this Level Ball to get out a Cinccino. And then we're gonna Level Ball again for Magikarp. It's gonna be like a multi-play kind of thing where we're just gonna be doing a lot. Quick Ball for the Minccino, and then Evo Incense for the Gyarados. So that had a lot of moving pieces here. Alright, so we'll just make do away the Gyarados. We got something. We did get Pal Pad, which is nice. Again, if prize management goes on our side here like it's supposed to in this matchup, then I think we'll be okay. Again, Path of the Peak is doing a lot of the work here so far. We get a Roseanne's backup, which is nice. Which can also get us back a Stadium, if you remember that. Getting back a Stadium is also one of the features that it has. I like that feature. Right, they don't have much here. Looks like their top deck was an Oricorio. Okay, so we can definitely knock out their Meloetta for sure. 30, 60, 90. Yeah, we knock out the Meloetta. And then from here, we can just Boss Genesect for game. And the rest is just cake. Alright, so let's go here. I'm thinking I want to spin the wheel on Peonia. Because there is a piece in the prizes, so we might as well play it. Alright, there's Rescue Carrier, Shoes, and Ambition. I'm going to put back in... I don't want to keep the Trekking Shoes. Let's put back in the Rescue... or... yeah, harder choice than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, let's put back in the Roseanne's backup. We don't need Trekking Shoes that badly, I don't think. Depends. I think I want to keep the Air Balloon. Let's put back in the Ambition, and let's put back... gotta make a move. The Carrier's fine. Let's do that. And then we're gonna Level Ball out our Carp. We know Gyarados is one of the prizes on the right. Yep, we're gonna keep that. And then we're gonna make do, ditching the Carp. And then I think here is a good enough time for us to Pal Pad back in both bosses' orders. That way we can get ready for the one play that I mentioned earlier. So 30, 60, 90, 120. Alright, so no matter what, we do have... regardless of whether or not Oricorio is on the field, based on what we have on the discard pile, we do have what we need to knock out the Genesects. Alright, we're Raging Finn. And I think here I want to try to still get one of the pieces out of the prizes. Alright, so it's going to be the one on the top right. Now, based on what we have here, we should definitely be trying to push for boss's orders at this point. Take the last prizes that we need. Alright, we're going to Ultra Ball. They don't have anything. Oh, they have... I was thinking if they were getting Pumpkaboo here. Looks like they're going to wall with their Mew VMAX. It's kind of like a last-ditch effort kind of thing. Oh, they're actually going to bring out the Genesect. I didn't expect that at all. We knocked that out. Again, like I mentioned before, we do have the knockout there. And that's essentially how we're going to like pilot this game in our favor. Alright, so we're just going to, at this point, ditch these researches. We're not going to need them. Which, you know, odd enough for me to say, right? Alright. I think we're just chilling the rest of the game. Again, this definitely shows how Path of the Peak in this matchup is not only strong, but again, the fact that when the math works right, we are consistently knocking out their two prize Pokemon. Alright, and this should be game if they don't get anything here. Alright, we do have it. Perfect. Again, even without like the path and all that stuff, I still think that we have a very solid matchup against Mew VMAX. Because again, we run just single prize Pokemon and they gotta work that much harder to get those prizes in order to win the game, despite how powerful of a deck they are in general. It actually turned out that, like, saving that stadium was not such a bad thing after all. Always if Mew VMAX isn't able to take care of business with Path of Peak, they're just in trouble anyway. And then that's that. Alright, let's call the coin flip here, see what we get. We lost the coin flip. We've been losing plenty of these coin flips, and it's kind of crazy to me. Losing the coin flip very consistently. Which, I mean, hey, at least we're consistent in one aspect of this. Oh, I would love a research here. I know we'd lose a Pal Pad, but I would love a research. Hisuian Lilligan. Okay. Let's see what they brought to the table with this one. This is a deck that I was actually playing when it first came out. It was okay. I was never really... It never really worked that great. It just seemed to be okay to, like, mediocre. But we never know. They might have a good set. They already had a pretty good start with 3 VIP passes right out of the gate. That's pretty busted. That is busted. Meanwhile, our hand is not much. I think what we'll do here is... Let's just get another Minccino. It looks like, what's my hand looking like? Got a 1/1 Carp in the hand. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we got all the Carp and Gyarados, which is nice. Again, that's the huge part of this, is the Carp and the Gyarados being in the deck and then eventually in the discard. Only one Air Balloon, that's not the best. Almost makes me want to get a... what's his face? A Ditto instead, but I think I'm fine just setting up my draw engine here. And again, this depends on what they have, though. Yeah, I do have a turf field out right away, so they can get out there, look at V-Star, use that Star Perfume ability, and just get a pretty good setup going. Which, to think, a setup like this, right off the rip, looking pretty good for them, though. And they haven't even gotten out their V-Star yet. I'm sure they're digging for Gardenia's Vigor if they haven't already gotten it yet. Alright, so the turf field's going to get the Hisuian Lilligan V-Star, and they're going to Star Perfume right out the gates. Alright, now I know they haven't done Greninja's ability yet, so they're still sitting on that. Still a lot of draw power, but it's going to be the matter of, like, setting up their attacker. So, geez, they got 4 Grass Energy and a Flapple. That is, okay, yeah, I'm concerned now. They've got an amazing setup going on. And we're sitting here with 3 chinchillas. Right. Alright, but it looks like they don't have their full setup yet since they are attaching to the active. Which again kind of makes this deck a little bit anemic in a way because the fact that Gardenia's Vigor for energy acceleration is just, it's way too balanced at the end of the day. That card's just way too balanced. They're going to do their apple drops right away. I'm surprised they're doing it on the active Minccino as opposed to one of the bench ones. I think doing it on the bench ones would have been better. That way, you know, this is still stuck up here, and then when the time comes, we have our freedom to just pivot up into what we want as opposed to just, you know, sitting in the active spot waiting to see what happens. Alright, but I don't think they're going to be attacking this. They shouldn't be attacking this turn since they attach the energy to the active. We'll still see what they get, though. They got an Air Balloon, though. They could have attacked. I wonder... Well, I mean, I guess they prematurely attached that energy, and then the rest kind of went downhill. Alright, so this Cinccino is going to have to put in so much work. Just literally this one Cinccino. Alright. Make do. Yes. Please. Okay, Boss Champ. We might actually have something here. This Cinccino is going to have to finish the job. Let's put it on the I'm gonna do it to the active one, just in case they want to do like a cheap apple drop play for the next turn, and then knock out something regardless. Okay, so we're not quite there yet, unfortunately. It's not much. We'll just pass. For now, we'll just pass. We'll let the Cinccino fall in the active, which is probably what's going to be happening here. I hate to say it. Yeah, they still definitely misplayed by attaching the energy prematurely without knowing they had an air balloon in hand, because they had a pretty amazing setup. They were good to go. As long as they didn't attach to the active, that would have been fine. But they got another Gardenia's Vigor. I'm going to have to take this Lilligant list, honestly, if it's available. Try it out for myself. Probably better than the one I had, honestly. Because they've gotten like a consistent setup. I don't know how consistent they're able to do this, but so far it's looking pristine. And yeah, that's definitely a reason why it was best to evolve the Cinccino as opposed to evolve the active as opposed to the bench one. Because again, they could have just apple dropped, and that would have been double knockout right there. At the very least, we controlled the prize situation just a little bit for us. Alright. They're definitely going to take the knockout. They're not going to bounce the energy back, which is fine. They don't need to. Alright, let's see what we get. We did get a Path of the Peak. Bit late. We did get it, though. And, come on. I think what we'll do here... we're going to be a bit behind a bit, but let's play the Magikarp and pivot into it. We'll Path the Peak and pass there. That way we preserve the Cinccino. If we do get to keep it. Which we might not be able to if they have a boss's orders. And they run Kricketune in this deck? How are they fitting all this? If there's anything I learned from playing this deck is that bench space is super stingy. Depending on what version you play with, but they still elect to go with the Kricketune. I mean, hey, if they got the room for it, they got the room for it. Alright, they are going to bump our stadium. Which honestly, like, that only gives them access to the Greninja at this point. Alright, there's another one down. Which, that's a knockout we don't even mind. We want that in the discard. Okay, we finally did hit that. I want to get... Not what I was looking for, though. I was hoping to get a Ditto. Which, technically, we can still push for, oddly enough. We can Rescue Carrier those back. I want to get a Ditto off of this. So we can safely put the Choice Belt there. Alright, still going. But my only thing too is that I still want a discard available. We can still get a Quick Ball though. We're still gonna push though, I guess. I usually don't do this, but it seems fine. Alright, Pal Pad and Roseanne's backup in the same hand. I don't like that. I'd rather we didn't have that going on. Well, I mean, we still have... At least we're pretty much good to go at this point. If we had a Ditto out earlier with the Gyarados and the discard, we would have been good here, but that didn't quite work out. We'll just swing normally here with the double turbo. I mean, our setup is fine now. We can definitely still work our way through. And they left themselves in a spot where they can't exactly bench any more Applins. And that still makes me question how they even had the bench space for all this. Bench space is always something that made me a bit nervous in regards to this deck in general. Alright. This hand's still fine. We'll work with it. My only thing though is that their Lilligants are bigger now. We might even be a bit late on the action here. All because they set up the Cricket Tune. All these are bigger. Let's go here. Yeah, the late start is gonna... Late start really hurts us a lot. Because now we're not doing what we want to do here, sadly. And we still have to work harder just to knock out the Lilligants. Alright. I still can't believe they actually set this up so consistently. That is insane. Yeah, I have to scoop this one up, honestly. We can't come back from that. Alright, let's see what the coin flip does. And alright, we do get to go first. That's really what we want to see. Absolutely ecstatic to be going first here. We'll see what it does. Alright, we're definitely going to start the Ditto for sure. Still no knowledge of what they're playing quite yet, but we'll see. Okay, it's going to be a Dialga, which I don't mind this matchup at all. Should be a decent enough matchup. Now, I'm looking at this hand. I could level ball for another Minccino here. But getting a Cinccino is also tempting. I think what we'll do here is just leave the hand as is and pass. I didn't really feel good about my options there, but we'll see. We shall see. And yeah, the most they have is a the Star Chronos into another attack for the knockout. But I think we'll still be fine though. Being a single prize deck, we do have enough time as is. We'll see for sure what happens. Ultra Ball, we'll see what they get off of that. Looks like they're going for the Zacian, which I don't mind them putting that on the board simply for the fact that that's an easy boss KO right there for us. That's not leaving the board at all. Alright, let's see what they got. Gonna have a research, okay. So they're far from done. But that actually makes the their play really interesting though, why they went for Zacian at that moment. Especially when they're gonna like Metal Saucer onto it. I think they might have been better off just getting another Dialga there, just getting another beefier Pokemon set up as opposed to that one. That's just my opinion anyway. Okay, so then there's a Crobat coming to the field. Crobat's gonna also be another potential free 2-prizer for us. But if at any point we can actually knock out their Dialga, then we'd really be sitting pretty, honestly. Alright, let's see what they do here. Trekking Shoes. They're far from done. See what they get. And yeah, they're going to Metal Coating right off the rip. Get that Dialga powered up. Let's see what we got. Alright, let's go Ditto into Level Ball for Cinccino. We have all of our researches in the deck, so hopefully if we hit a research, that'd be a lot better than the Cynthia's Ambition that's just hanging out in our hand. We can get more draw going for sure, and as luck would have it, that turned out to be the case. So yeah, we're absolutely going to research here. And then Get out another Minccino. Not doing the most damage, unfortunately. Just have to make do with what we got, though. It's only 40 damage. It's pretty low. But based on the setup we have, that's pretty fine. Unless they, you know, get Dialga V-Star powered up to the max to where they can start Chronos and take the knockout on the Ditto and then something else. That might be what they go for here. All they need is Switch and a Metal Saucer. They do have the resources, though. Okay, they do have the Big Charm, which, you know, thankfully we did damage to that. So now all we need is just a full discard and a Choice Belt to finish the job. The rest will do the work for us. But we'll see, though. And they're still pushing. See what the rest of their hand has over. They're actually going to Training Court. I don't think they actually did their Greninja yet. Doesn't look like they did. Okay, going for another Dialga. Okay. And if I recall correctly, I do believe we have all of our attackers, or all the Pokemon we need to put in the discard in the deck. So I think we'll be in good shape. Alright, let's start off with... The Carp's a nice draw, actually. So why don't we Evo Incense for 2, 3. Okay. Evo Incense for the Gary. We'll Level Ball for the Cinccino. And then Quick Ball for... We'll try to fill up this discard as much as possible. We could even just get another Ditto and be fine with it, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's just grab another Carp to go with everything. Try to get as many of these Pokemon in the discard pile as possible. Okay, so we're looking at... We did get the Ditto. Let me see what I got going. We can... I want to get more of my Gyarados in the discard pile. Let's Ultra Ball away 1-2. Go for the Gyarados. Get that going. I know we're not going to have enough to get the knockout, but at the very least, we can still push. And looks like it's going to be fine for us. Let's see. We haven't seen a single boss's orders yet, which is fine. Alright, so then let's go... I'm gonna go Evo Incense into Gyarados, and then Quick Ball Gyarados for another Minccino. We'll get that set up. But they're probably just going to start Chronos here anyway. At the worst part, the Minccino will probably just be a sacrifice if they don't boss up our other Ditto. But we do have Rescue Stretcher, though. We can get all that back regardless. I'm actually might as well just play that down while we're at it. And we'll just Raging Fin. Get a nice deal of damage on there. We almost have our full setup for the bench going, which is nice. We just need to pitch another Carp, and that'll be it. But they are definitely going to start Chronos, and they do get out another one of those. But like I said, Crobat and Zacian are easy targets for us. Okay, I didn't really want to see the Marnie, unfortunately. It happens, though. Alright. That means they can potentially boss out our Ditto to take that knockout. Hoping they don't, but we'll see. Gonna bring out the Minccino. But I do pretty much see our knockouts on board. I've got this mapped out just fine. We'll see what happens, though. If they get the boss or not. They're going to Marnie us again. Double Marnie. And that actually kind of hurts because they're going to tuck the Carp away. Not only that, but our Cynthia's Ambition's gone too. That's shot. And then we get a hand like this, which is not the worst, but it's not the greatest either. We do still need a few more pieces to do what we need to do. They took the Minccino knockout, which was what we were hoping for. We'll bring the Cinccino out first since we have the Air Balloon in hand. Alright, then let's... Okay, the research draw is actually phenomenal here. We'll go... I could... Let me see what I got going on. Ditto seems like a trap here. Let's grab the Carp to pitch. Let's do that. Let's go Minccino, Air Balloon, and then research. Thin this deck down as much as possible. We did get the belt, which is fine. And actually, we don't even need to attack with this Ditto anyway. We can just go here. I think, is the Pal Pad? Pal Pad's still in the deck. That's only another source of card recovery. Alright, I think we make do away the research since our deck is really small. And I think we make do away the Tornadus. We're not going to need that anymore. And we did get our boss's orders, so we do have potentially what we need to take this game.
Sounds right.
Crobat and Zacian are on the board. But if they go ahead and bring up the Dialga V-Star, that's also fine too. We have Choice Belt in hand. That can also work with us. They played 3 Marnies. I don't think they should have it. In theory, they shouldn't have another Marnie. If they do, they do, but, you know. I think I like our position regardless, though. And you can actually see firsthand that this is why we manage well against these kinds of decks, being a single prize deck. Since, again, even with the extra turn they took with the Star Chronos, they still have to work that much harder in order to do what they need to do. The funny thing is, the canceling Cologne doesn't even work. That's only for the turn. They're gonna play it? Waiting for them. Or they just discard it. Surprised they didn't discard it. They do realize the canceling clone doesn't work here. Yeah, they're just doing whatever it is they need to do at this point. It's not much. Yeah, we also saw the Rescue Carrier. That got tucked away at the bottom. So we're going to be good to go to get another attacker going regardless. Look at that. We got all of our Carp and Gyarados in the prizes. We've got the Choice Belt on the Ditto. We've got the Twin Energy to go with it. We're good to go at this point, I think. Yeah, we'll just Raging Fin. We'll see what else they got here. We got our shoes out of the prizes, and we got energy out of the prizes. Yeah, like I said, we just need the Rescue Carrier, and we're good to go. But who knows? Maybe they can hit us with a Roxanne just out of the ballpark. Just seeing how. Alright, they did lose both of their Dialgas, which again, I know this deck usually just runs a 2-2 line, so the only thing they're going to have to attack with at this point is Zacian V. Which, if they want to go back-to-back on that, they do need a fair amount of pivots, which I haven't seen them play a single switch. If they are playing it, that is, which I'm assuming they do. But yeah, this game should be in our favor at this point. We'll see what else they have, though. I'm not going to count them out of this yet. I'm not getting comfortable. Okay. So from there, we should take the game. Alright, let's bring that out. And we just need the Rescue Carrier, and that is going to be GG's. We'll pitch the Peonia. I know it's in here because we saw it. We'll Carrier. 1, 2. There. And swing. And there's the GG's. came just in time for us. We were looking for that well-played game right there. So yeah, that's just a few games with my Ditto Magikarp deck, or Magikarp Ditto, whichever you want to prefer. You can definitely tell for sure that it does handle very well against a lot of the multi-prize decks, and even against other single-prize decks as well, it could actually do well itself. While it's not the most perfect deck in Standard at the moment, it's still a really fun deck to play, and actually a bit of a sleeper deck if you want something to maybe play at a locals or a small tournament. I'd say pick this up for sure. Which, speaking of tournaments, if you didn't already know, I run my own tournament series on Mondays called the Sunnies Weekly. We always kick that off at 6 p.m. Eastern over on Limitless. I'll leave a link down below for that. And I also stream the games myself on my own channel, which is of course twitch.tv/TheRealSunnyGames. But yeah, let me know what you think about this deck in the comments, what changes you would make. Any other questions, feel free to ask. But other than that, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube if you would like to. But mostly, more importantly, if you want the most out of my content, head over to my channel on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/TheRealSunnyGames, which again, I do stream 5 days a week on there, every day, except for Thursday and Saturday, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, and on Mondays from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern for our weekly tournament. But that's all for now, and hopefully I'll get another video out soon. Again, like I said before, I can't promise too much of a consistent uploading schedule, but I am going to try my best to with my busy personal life and all that. We'll see what happens, but until next time, I will catch you later.